All right, so good to have you back. It's still the weekend politics, and we're live here on CRBC TV. Now, on Friday, His Excellency, Mr. President, shook Nigerians by sacking almost all the service chiefs living across the area and there. So a lot of Nigerians are saying that means Major General Diande is doing pretty well. Yeah, he's across the area and so he's doing well. So now, that is going to be the talk, the discourse on the show today. I have joining me Idem Emmanuel. Idem Emmanuel is a geopolitical analyst and a security expert. Idem, so good to have you join us. Good evening.
Thank you very much, brother.
And I must say thank you for on a very short notice you were able to oblige us. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Now, Idem, as a security expert, this sack of service chiefs, how did this get to you? And indeed, how did you feel the pulse of Nigeria when this dropped on Friday?
Well, the sack of the chief of the military chiefs is actually a normal thing. I think they have about 2 years to serve. Most of the time, maybe by the discretion of the president, their tenure may be extended. It's a normal thing, but this time it's just that there were rumors, parading that they were sacked as a result of the coup attempt. And that's very, 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 very serious. I think over the years since His Excellency took over government, took over power, we've had a lot of security crises, kidnapping and terrorist attacks, insurgency, mainly in the north and across the states. And it is expedient for the president to take that decision in order to shake up the top brass, the military top brass, and get them to work. I mean, if you are in that position, in view of the security challenges that the country is facing, we need people who are very innovative, that are very creative, people who would bring something on the table, bring a change, do something visible that Nigerians will see, and to guarantee and ensure our security.
Great. Now, let's look at this shakeup, in the Nigerian military. What does it really signify in practical terms?
It signifies a change. It signifies that Mr. President is very serious about the security crisis in the country. First of all, I'd like to address the rumor, because there have been rumors of coup attempts, genocide. I think there's a lot of things going on right now in Nigeria, and basically we've heard about genocide. There's an argument everywhere on the social media space, in the Nigerian mainstream media, about genocides of Christians. There are rumors of abductions, across the country. And now, before the Independence Day, the Independence Day of Nigeria is a must celebrate moment. It's something we should celebrate. I think it's a great failure. It's a big failure, not just for the military, but for the government administration, that the Independence Day parade in Nigeria was not observed. It was cancelled because of some security crisis. Imagine this same year, we had the Chinese Communist Party celebrating their 80th anniversary of their conquest of the Imperial Japan. Imagine if they would have to cancel such celebration, or if Russia would want to cancel their Victory Day parade in St. Petersburg because of a terrorist attack or terrorist rumors of insecurity. That's very funny. That's very funny. It doesn't tell well of the SAC military chief. They haven't done well. We have the CDI, which is the DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency. What are they doing? I think before now, they were supposed to carry out their investigation. They were supposed to, make security preparation for the Independence Day parade. And there's nothing anywhere that could have stopped the Independence Day parade. It is a big shame. It is a shame and a blow to our democracy, a blow to our government, a blow to the military. So I think what Mr. President did is expedient. It's good. It has to do. It's a disciplinary measure, and we don't have to take it so lightly. the DIA came out to say that it was just there was no coup. They denied the coup, but we heard what Sahara reporters reported, that 16 men were detained for an attempted coup, and then the DIA came out to deny it. They said that what they heard, these 16 or 20 alleged persons that were detained for disciplinary measure within the military. But I feel if any military personnel will behave inappropriately, that should be dealt with at the unit level. It's not something that will become national. I think there's something going on, okay?
Because looking at the timing as well, a lot of Nigerians are also bringing about the timing. Okay, just some days back, we had the rumor of the coup attempt. And now, on Friday, Mr. President is sacking 4 or 5 of his service chiefs. So, as a security expert, linking one-on-one, do you think there's any sense in that rumor and the timing of Mr. President sacking those chiefs?
I suspect there's something going on. We have been, of course, we should be worried about the situation in the Sahel. We've had a lot of coups across West Africa,
Mali,
Niger, Senegal, Burkina Faso, and we recently heard of the coup in Madagascar, where the elected government is overthrown by the military. And it's like it's a wave, a sort of revolutionary wave going across Africa. And the reason why we're having this is because the government, the so-called democratic government across the African states, they are not doing well. They are not doing well. There are a lot of complaints by people. Here in Nigeria, we see people are complaining the economy is doing very bad. Look at the exchange rate. It's very bad. I understand that the Nigerian government is trying its best, but it's not good enough. And we have a lot of poverty. Poverty rate is so high at the moment. A lot of Nigerians are suffering. I think, because of this, most people celebrate the coup. They are happy. There are a lot of people in Nigeria who would support a coup. But I want to warn that it is a very dangerous thing. We should not be supporting a coup. It took us great pain to become a democracy, and we must protect our democracy regardless of whatever. We should be very careful of trying to align with people when we hear coups. You remember what happened in 2022 in Venezuela when the United States was critical of the government of Hugo Chavez. We found out that CIA sponsored a coup with one of the biggest businessmen in Venezuela, and the coup was actually successful for more than 48 hours. Thank God that Hugo Chavez has already been given information. He had already sensed that there were such rumors and attempts to, by the American CIA were plotting to take him out of the office. So when we hear of coups, I think the Nigerian military should go on to investigate these rumors. They should investigate these rumors because there is no smoke without fire. We need to investigate that rumor. We shouldn't be taking it lightly, because we understand we have to be careful. It is not a good trend that it happened in Burkina Faso and the military junta took over power and the government there is doing well. Doesn't mean that might be the fate of Nigeria. What if there's a foreign power out there who has an overlapping interest in Nigeria and wants to sponsor a political faction, or a group or an individual to take over power? Should we be happy about that? No. I don't think we should support that. We should be very careful. Nigeria since 1960 has suffered 9 coups. We've had enough. 9 coups since independence, since 1960. And we don't need any of that. We've lost good leadership because of coups. I remember the leadership of the head of state, Yakubu Gowon, who actually enacted Decree 40 that led to the establishment of Federal Housing Authority. He had a plan to build 100,000 housing units across the 12 federations at that time. And these were good policy. Whilst they were building the federal housing, the state government, were also building the state housing. And that's the biggest housing project ever in Nigerian history. These were government that had vision for the people. And because of coup, he lost. There was a coup. He was removed by some junior military staff who took him out. It was more like a palace coup. It was a bloodless coup. They took him out of office and then bring in Murtala Mohammed. So we must be very careful. When we talk about coup, we don't know who is sponsoring the coup. Is it just a group? Is it just a region? Is it an individual? Is it a political party? Is it a foreign interest that is sponsoring a coup? We have to be very careful. The Nigerian military has to investigate. We have to investigate this rumor. We have to investigate, and in fact, they need to tell the public what is going on, because they're not saying anything. They need to tell the public what is going on.
Absolutely. So now, in your perspective, what do you think, what message do you think Mr. President is trying to pass from this move?
I think Mr. President is passing the message that is quite up to the task. He is, ready to, solve the problem of insecurity in Nigeria. I think it's actually a disciplinary step. I mean, something anybody, even if someone is running a corporate organization, would do if those who you put in place. I mean, imagine there are rumors of genocides in Nigeria, Christian genocide. You've heard of it. What is the military doing? What were the service chief doing? What did they come out to tell Nigerians? The military has the responsibility, the Department of Intelligence Agency, the DIA, they have the responsibility to control the narrative, because it is very important to control the narrative. Because those who are going around canvassing that there was a genocide in Nigeria, are doing so to sell us out. I heard Ted Cruz was trying to pass a bill in the U.S. Senate, to sanction Nigeria for committing genocide against Christians. Look, let's not be biased. I'm a Christian. There have been more Muslim dead in the north, more than Christian dead. So both the Muslims and the Christians in Nigeria are victims of insecurity. They are victims of terrorism. Okay? They are victims. So when people begin to blame a certain faction for anything, they are trying to polarize the country. They are trying to divide the country. Okay? So the military has a responsibility to control the narrative, to come out and speak to people, sensitize people, or else we risk polarizing the society, dividing the society, because I understand there are foreign powers who have interest in Nigeria. And the military needs to come up with an immediate temporal and long-term security plan. I mean, we need to do that. We need to begin to liaise with the military of other regional powers like Ghana, mostly those countries that, we share borders with. We need to begin to, collaborate with them in the areas of security. We also should be critical of foreign bases in Africa. Foreign bases in Africa. We have an American base in Ghana. Has the Nigerian government or the Ghanaian government consulted with Nigeria for allowing a foreign military base close to Nigeria? Nigeria is a giant in Africa. We are a powerful nation. We have one of the largest population in the world. And so we should be concerned when regional countries will bring in foreign extraterritorial forces into our area of influence. I think we need to begin. We need military leaderships, military personnel who are, aware of what is going on in the international arena. We need to get people who understand geopolitics, people who understand what is going on in the international community. Because it's as if we don't know these things. We should question every military base that surrounds Nigeria. And we should question the collaboration of the military junta in Niger Republic with Russia. We should question all of that. We should question all of that. We have one of Katsina State, almost over 70 villages are under siege with terrorists, instability everywhere. So the military are not doing their job, they are failing. So the newly appointed service chiefs, they have a lot of tax on their decks.
So that's why I was coming now. Look, Nigerians were so dissatisfied with the performances of the sacked service chiefs. Now, these new gentlemen are on board. And we see that they have a track record. Most of them have been in the theater of war. Almost all of them, almost the four of them have been in the theater of war. So what do you think they are bringing on board now?
Well, I haven't really had the time, but I'm aware of the newly appointed service chief. I know of the Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, General Olufemi Oluyede. Actually, Olufemi Oluyede was Chief of the Army Staff. He was also sacked, but I don't know. But Mr. President actually reinstated him. But this time around, they made him Chief of the Defense Staff. While the Chief of Army Staff, the currently Chief of Army Staff is Major General Waidu Shaibu. We have Chief of Naval Staff, the CNS, Rear Admiral Idi Abbas. We have Chief of the Air Staff, CAS, Air Vice Marshal Sunday Kelvin Aneke. And then we have our own Chief Defense of Intelligence, the Intelligence Defense Intelligence Chief, Major General Emmanuel Akumaye. Well, Akumaye's position has been then it's a good one. It shows because that's why I'm saying I'm suspecting something is going on, because who would give the information? Who would at first leak the information about an attempted coup? It would be the DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency. So we should give some credit to our own brother, Chief Major General Emmanuel Akumaye. He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. But I think that we have to begin to question regional countries. Every country that shares border with Nigeria has a security responsibility towards us. We must collaborate with them. In fact, if these countries, if they have porous border and they do not have the resources to fully protect their border, and they're allowing terrorists to enter into our own territory and then form operation, attack military bases and the rest, and cause mayhem, we have to go into those countries. You know what is going on in Syria. You know what is going on in Turkey. What did the Turkish government did? They sent troops to Syria to deal with the PKK and the YPK. They dealt with them. So if these guys cannot do their job, we have to go there. We have to set our base in those countries and defend our borders.
So you think these new guys are ready for that?
I don't know if they have these kind of plans, because we're supposed, look, warfare has changed. Nigeria is used to the, regular conventional warfare. There's a lot of things going on. We should be sending war correspondents to Russia in Ukraine, where they are fighting currently. We should be sending people to study, new techniques and new technologies that are coming out from that war. We should be sending people to war zones, correspondents, to come up with the information, to work with the military and share new ideas. We don't know anything. What we need to do now, the military chiefs that have been appointed, they need to set a drone base and also we don't have anything like an air defense system. Why? What if we have an incursion and other forces attack Nigeria? There's an air attack. What are we going to do? We don't have air defense system. They should begin to tell us the technology that they need to defend and protect our country.
Okay, Idem, let's quickly go on a very short break. Let's take this break. When we're back, we'll do a wrap on this segment, with you. So stay with us. We'll take a very short break and we'll be back. Don't go away. All right, welcome back to the Weekend Politics, and we had to quickly go pay some bills there. Still in the studio with me is Idem Emmanuel. He's a geopolitical analyst and security expert. So let's get your very last shot. Nigerians, Idem, have always been the ones bearing the brunt of insecurity. Now, we have new sheriffs in town, at least in the last 48 hours. What do you think citizens should expect from them to be on ground in the next 6 months to 1 year?
Okay, we simply should be expecting, a steep dive for the rate of insurgency and insecurity and crisis across the nation. First of all, for them to be able to achieve that, they need to tell Nigerians what kind of technology that they need. They need to come up with a plan. The Ministry of Interior has also a responsibility, because most of these things that we're facing is within Nigeria. What is our plan, our security plan? I have talked about a long-term and short-term security plan. What is their short-term plan? I want to see these new military chiefs collaborating with other advanced nations to learn new things, contemporary ways to deal with security crisis. We need to build in our military, under the Ministry of Interior, we need to have a drone squadron, a drone squadron that in every local government, they will have a base across the federation, to carry out reconnaissance and surveillance operation, into, forest area, into all nooks and crannies of this nation. We need to begin a massive reconnaissance and surveillance operation. We need to ban civilians from using drones without permission from the government. We need to begin to fly our drones and gather intelligence. Consistently, we need to begin to do that. We need to, we need to collaborate with other countries, in seeing how we can advance our drone technology, purchase. We need things that like the air defense system. We need even to launch a satellite for information communication for our military, because the network that our military is using is open. It could be hacked by foreign powers. Intelligent information can be taken, and be fed to criminals. So we need another security infrastructure. We need to launch a satellite into space, communication satellite for our military. These are the things we need, because our informations are out there, they are hacked. Our military chiefs are sending information through WhatsApp messages. There's no special encrypted applications for passing, classified information. That's why you're seeing the leak. And everybody is running around to fix things. So we expect the best from them. We expect them to come up with innovative ways to deal with the problem. The Ministry of Interior, they have a lot to do. They need to come out and tell Nigerians why we're having all this insecurity and what they are doing, to douse the situation. Thank you.
Idam Emmanuel is a geopolitical analyst and a security expert. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure having you on our show.
Thank you very much.
So we take a very short break, and when we are back, we will be taking you through another national politics. Stay with us. Regular fees will be here on the show. Don't go anywhere.